are going to finally be doing this CB install that I've been telling everybody about for the past like month. Look, don't be mad at me. I'm a busy person, okay? Anyways, so this is the CB that I have now. It's a Uniden Bearcat 880. I basically took an under dash kit mount for like a radio, like a regular car stereo radio, and modified it, cut it out so the speaker's here. This is just like felt. So we're gonna remove this one. We're gonna be putting in the new Stryker. This is the SR655 HP. This one's already been peaked and tuned. We should be able to get roughly about 15 miles out of this one. Compared to this one was also peaked and tuned. It had some work done to it as well. So it got out pretty far. The only thing is, it's dead. So we're gonna double check this one. I'm still probably gonna get this one repaired just because it is a decent radio. It's lasted me pretty good. It's done its job, but so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this new one installed. This one is drastically a lot bigger, as you can see. I'm trying to hold this one up right quick. You can kind of see. You probably really can't see that, but this one is a lot bigger. So I'm wondering if this one's even going to fit the same way that I have this one now, which I don't think it is. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and look and see. As you guys can see, basically kind of how it's mounted. I drilled out the back for the antenna, and then the power plug here. It's right there. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to reuse this one because, let's see if I can get it in frame. But yeah, this one is a behemoth. It's a lot bigger. So I'm gonna try to mock up some stuff right quick and see exactly what I'm able to do. I like it in this same area, so I may run this without a case for the time being, just because I'm only home for today. So, and I do want the radio in like now. So I may just try to run this without the case for the time being. It doesn't necessarily bother me just because it is a clean case. This obviously just kind of made everything look 100%, not necessarily factory, but it just kind of, you know, it made it look like it belonged there and whatnot. So let's see what we can do. So, as you kind of seen, I was just kind of mocking it up with this plate. But the only bad thing about this plate is it would have to go here, obviously, because that's the most flattest space, even though it's kind of flimsy. But I really need the bracket to go here because the heat sink is basically touching the carpet. And if you know anything about electronics, heat sinks obviously get hot. So, I'm not too sure what I'm going to have to do. Decisions. Where do we get mounted? Maybe up there, maybe? Let's see. Not too sure how I'm gonna make this fit.
You want some lube?
Lube, ladies and gentlemen, lube. Alright, so after a couple phone calls, shout out to my dad. He actually has this exact same radio. So I called him right quick to see if the heatsink, how hot the heatsink gets, and if it would be good against the carpet. He said it'd be fine. So he has his and his semi up against like the headliner, so similar material. So we should be fine on that. So we're gonna go ahead and get this mounted, and then after that, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I ran my antenna, the antenna mount that I have, and then where you can grab power from. A lot of people will just use a cigarette lighter if you're looking for something as simple to just quick plug and play. Mine's actually hardwired, so. So as I was trying to mount that, I discovered a problem. But in reverse. Milwaukee, you failed me.
Good to go.
It fixed itself. I guess you just had to bitch at it a little bit and it fixed itself. So back to getting this thing mounted. Alright, so I went ahead and put the bracket on. Got both side mounts on. So this one's actually nice because I think you can barely see it, but it has 3 positions. So I was actually able to tilt it a little forward, which then gives me just enough clearance to get it off the carpet. I'd just rather it be off the carpet. So I think I actually like this better than having the case. The reason being is I can actually just unscrew these, lay the CB down, and then get full access to this when you change like your cabin air filters. That was one thing that I didn't like on the old style because it opened just enough to do the job, which kind of made it a little bit of a pain. But now with this, I'll actually be able to take it off and do it. So that's actually kind of like that. So luckily, it uses the same power cord that I have. Basically, this one here, I tapped in power at the top where the cigarette lighter's at. So it is on constant power. So I can always turn the CB off, even like when the truck's off. And then the antenna, I actually have a Stryker. So both the same brand, so obviously your CB antenna is just going to go straight like that. Leave a little bit of slack, that way so it's not at a nasty angle, just like that. And then the power is somewhere. First try. So I'm going to go ahead and push that power cable in more, just like that. Looks like we got power. Such a nice looking radio. I'm gonna try it like this. The speaker's actually on the inside, on the other side. So I'm gonna see if I'll be able to hear loud enough. Just because this does face towards me. So it does look a little bit nicer. I can actually read it instead of trying to tilt my head. Which on that one, the old one you remember, it sat like this. So it had the speaker facing out, which obviously is gonna be louder. But the display was obviously the opposite direction, so we're gonna see how this one gets down. All right, so basically, you see right there is the antenna. The SWR antenna. Anyways, the SWR on this radio is too high. It's about 3. So the way you can test your SWR is if you go to channel 1, look at your SWR, and then channel 40. If 1 is lower than 40, you need to trim some of your antenna down. So that's what I'm going to do. Luckily, this antenna has about 2 inches of adjustability before you start cutting. Sadly, it wasn't enough, so we're gonna go ahead and cut just a smidge off. So. I probably shouldn't be doing this on top of my fuel tank, but you know. Try it again. Alright, so finally got the SWR down enough. It's right about 1.5. The way I did that was basically trimming the antenna right about an inch and a half or so. So I'll go ahead and show you guys pretty much how the end result looks like now. So it all mounted up. You get all this stuff cleaned up, but pretty much fully mounted up. For the time being, I'm just going to be using the regular Stryker. I have a Roking 56, but it's 5-pin from my old radio, so I need to change the end adapter there to a 4-pin. So I'll get that changed out sometime, I don't know, this week or so. But pretty much that's pretty much it for the initial install. As far as running my antenna wire, you can see it comes in right there. Run it up through here. I don't think that's the wire, but it's running the exact same way. So basically it runs down here. There's a grommet. If you do have a ram, there's a grommet right in that area. I popped out, put a grommet on it, ran it down. Runs all the way down. I think splits in, comes back up here. It's all zip tied down, by the way. But basically just comes up right there where the antenna mount. This one here is a magnet one. So I basically went to a little fab shop, basically, a little welder. It was actually at my old drop yard. And basically did like a little T, so it sits down like this. Kind of see. And then it just bolts to the actual bed of the cab on that side and that side. Dead center of the vehicle, which is where you want the antenna at. So that's how it is. Nice little sky view at home. But that pretty much wraps it up for that. I hope you guys, if you have any questions, if you have any questions, can't talk, drop them down. I'll try to get to everybody's question about the CB. You don't necessarily have to go with something as nice as what I did. The Bearcat 880 that I had before, like I said, was a perfect radio. You can even do like the Cobra 20. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up as far as the install goes. It really wasn't an install, it was more just like how I remounted this radio, but it's pretty clear. As far as power goes, you can get the cigarette lighter one that just plugs in, or you can hardwire it. Like I said previous, I hardwired mine to the actual wire for the cigarette lighter. That's a bit to do right now, and I just don't have the time. So if you have any questions about it, drop a comment. If this helped you, drop a like. If you want to see some more stuff like this, subscribe. So it's pretty much going to end it for this time. Hope everybody has a good week out there.